Hello.
What's up, fellas?
My name is Easton LaPlaca.
I am Braden Halladay.
I'm Charlie Klingler.
And you're watching my podcast called the D1 Dirt Podcast. We need a new name. Today, I'm joined by our special guest, Charlie Klingler, my dear friend. And you know him from the last episode. Now your co-host, believe that, Braden Halladay.
Glad to be here.
Hi, everyone.
Glad to have you.
Hi, Charlie.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Sure it is.
So, today, we're focused on the personality and character of Charlie Klingler. And boy, let me tell you. We're going to start out, Charlie Klingler, senior at High Point University, on the baseball team. You're from Salisbury, North Carolina?
Yeah, it's about right there. I'm actually from Faith, North Carolina, which is 15 minutes outside of Salisbury. I think the census says it's like 890 people, so
Small town.
a lot of my friends.
It's like Radiator Springs.
Kind of.
That's a great movie, by the way.
That is.
That's one of my favorite movies, actually. Cars. I watched it with my girlfriend the other night, but we only made it halfway through. Sorry, we're off topic. Anyways, tell me a little bit about Salisbury. What'd you do growing up with 800 people?
Well, I grew up actually in Salisbury, which we moved to Faith when I was a freshman in high school. So there's not a whole lot to do in Salisbury, but I grew up playing football, baseball, obviously. I raced growing up, like drag racing and
Race cars.
Yeah, grew up around race cars. My mom actually drove race cars professionally
What
in
kind
the
of race
IHRA circuit.
Was it like a buggy or like drag strip?
Drag strip, a rear engine dragster.
Is it true that you moved high school as your freshman year because you were bullied off of the football team?
Yeah, I had some troubles growing up, but it's all right. It made the best of it.
It builds character.
It does build
Put
character.
some hair on your chest.
Well, we're no shortage of that one there.
And I know you enjoy hunting, you enjoy fishing.
Dude.
What's your favorite thing to hunt for, favorite thing to fish for?
I really enjoy.
I'm a big fisherman myself, if you didn't know.
Really?
We're not huge, but I do enjoy a little fishing here and there on the boat.
I enjoy shooting ducks and geese. Waterfowl is probably my favorite. Then we've got turkey, which is up there. And then if I was going to go fish, I really got into offshore fishing this past year. Got to go catch some blue marlin and sailfish and stuff.
Where at?
Out of Morehead City, like where the Big Rock tournament is.
Is that in North Carolina?
It is.
Let me
There's
ask you.
sailfish off the course of North Carolina?
Yeah, it's about 52 miles to the Gulf Stream out of Morehead City, so right up a 2-hour boat ride.
Let me ask you a city question.
Okay.
Is waterfowl a fancy country word for duck?
Waterfowl is like duck, goose,
So
I
water-
guess crane
water
is
birds.
included in that.
Because me and Braden Halladay did not grow
So
up around
would a flamingo be a waterfowl?
I don't think that's in the same classification as a waterfowl, but it's close enough.
So then are there skyfowl as well? Or
Is there ground fowl?
No, that's actually called upland. So upland is like chucker, quail,
Hogs.
pheasant,
Oh, birds.
birds. Then you got your mammals and your predators, which are like your foxes that you can see behind you, a fox and a coyote.
Well, that's the food chain, right?
Yeah.
What's
they're
the
all
biggest
different.
thing that you've got?
Bird-wise is a swan. I shot a tundra swan.
Is that legal?
Yeah, in North Carolina, it's one of the only, I think there's like 7 states in the country where you can legally get a permit to shoot a swan, but it's not really rocket science. You set up in a field, they come in, you shoot them, and you go home. You get one for the whole year,
And then you have Boone running grab him.
pretty much. And
Boone
then,
is his chocolate lab puppy. He's amazing. We'll bring him on in a little bit.
yeah, the swans are pretty cool, but there's a fella a few years ago ended up getting in trouble because he shot like 14 of them in one day. They frowned upon that one. Put him in jail for a little bit, made him think about what he did, but he didn't really speak much English, so he just thought he was out there goose hunting.
Well, Charlie, my podcast, the whole topic or theme of it is to bring athletes on and talk about everything but the sport that they play. So, just hypothetically, baseball goes poof, gone. What would you like to be doing with all your extra time that you have?
Well, if money was no issue, I'd like to go out west and be a guide, and then in the summertime when there's no hunting season, then go be a charter boat captain, or at least a mate for a little bit. But
You said be a guy, like a man?
A guide.
I mean, it is 2023. You get to pick whatever you want, I guess.
But how does that work? Like, do you just go like out into the wilderness and you guide them in random, or do you have like a certain place you take?
Well, a lot of times, like the whole deal, there's a farm where you can take people on, and long story short, like they have
with waterfowl and upchuck.
Well, waterfowls are migratory animals, so they all start in Canada and they work their way down, and there's 4 different flyways, and when they're working down the flyway, you can traffic birds, and certain parts of the year, that's why it's better, because they're going down south to get away from the cold weather and the
How do you know
freeze.
where to set up at? Because it's in the middle of nowhere.
Scouting has a lot to do with it.
Like the cameras and stuff?
Well, now, like say when I go to Kansas in December, my buddy, they have a farm out there. It's a few hundred acres, and like when we get there, there's ponds and everything on it, and you just go find what the birds are naturally using. And when you figure that out, you set up around that. You put your decoys out, your blinds out, and go from there. But
I have another question for you, Charlie. So, if you were to pick 3 people, dead or alive, to have a nice, casual sit-down dinner with, who would you want to talk to?
we're gonna go basic and go Ronald Reagan. And
I feel like that's not a basic answer.
I feel like that isn't. I wouldn't have chose Ronald
That might
Reagan.
be-
no,
No.
I don't think that's
I would
basic.
go for
Oh.
a little like Snoop Dogg, maybe like.
Yeah, see, that seems like more basic to me, kind of.
Yeah.
I'd
Snoop
go
Dogg.
Ronald Reagan, Hank Williams Jr., because I feel like that'd be cool and you wouldn't know what he would say. And then, I don't know about the third one. That'd be a hard one.
I would definitely go Snoop, Kevin Hart, and The Rock.
Do
I
people?
feel like that'd be a good.
Do they have to
dinner.
be real people, or can I have Garfield in mind?
What are you gonna talk to Garfield about?
What wouldn't I talk to them about?
What would you talk to Garfield about?
I
Do you have
mean-
questions to ask Garfield?
I think there's
I
plenty
don't
of
think you do.
things on like,
What's it like being Garfield?
I mean,
Yeah.
he's got his own TV show.
yeah, there's got to. I mean, I'm not. You know, I had the opportunity hasn't presented itself, so I
You are
prepared
an
myself
advocate
for
for
it.
fictional animals.
Yeah, I am.
You love your fictional animals.
Well, Charlie's taking care of the real ones, so
Yes,
someone's got to eat lasagna.
Charlie, you have a lot of really good stories and a lot of good sayings from being friends with you for the past 3 years. And I actually have a notes that I have written down of some of my favorite sayings of yours. Would you like to share a few of them? 'Cause I didn't grow up around that. Braden Halladay didn't grow up around it.
Definitely not.
He's
I don't have that
he's our
kind of-
only country friend.
It's not hard to figure something out, but that's one of the easiest ones. Like, they couldn't pour piss out of a boot if there's directions on the wheel.
That's cool.
Have you heard these things before, or are you just making them up on the fly?
A lot of them I've heard. I mean,
From who?
like relatives and friends.
Who's saying, wait, what is it? Piss out of a boot? Wait, what?
Like, if you fill a boot up with piss or water,
Why would
anything you
someone fill
want.
up a boot with piss?
That's not the point. The
well,
point
well,
is,
that makes it not make sense.
no, the point is they're not smart enough to even get it out of the boot because there's directions on the heel of it. And if you,
Those are some nice boots you got
well,
there.
thank you, they're fish.
I feel like if someone were not able to get the piss out of the boot, then it kind of explains why the piss got in the boot in the first place. Because clearly they're not all tied together.
Well, would it make you feel better if it was like they couldn't even conduct a 2-car funeral? That's not pretty hard. I mean, you just put 2 cars in a parking spot.
Conduct a 2-car funeral?
You couldn't figure that one out either.
I don't get it.
It's okay. How about I'd rather shit my hands than clap than have to do that?
I understand that one.
Okay.
That's pretty self-explanatory.
EJ, I want to hear one of your stories though, because you have some good ones. You were telling me about the quarry one the other day.
Do you think this is really the right story?
There's a lot of stories.
Think about
He
the
has-
context of the
He has
story.
a lot of stories to
He
choose
does. I'm just saying that's why maybe this one, given the context of the situation, probably isn't the best idea.
I think we need
Probably a bad
All right,
call.
we need to come to a conclusion on what story you want Charlie to tell right now.
We've got
Where's the
hunting
quarry?
stories. We've got stories of me and my friends with some liquid courage involved. I mean, like every good Friday night, you got to start out hanging around with your buddies in the shop and
Of course.
see how many of the 24 you can kill before you even go out. Well, a buddy he's my farming buddy. He farms. He's a grain farmer out in Mount Olive, North Carolina, and
He's a what farmer?
Grain farmer.
A
So
grain farmer.
corn, wheat, all the not vegetables, but all the things that like big farms have, like
The grain.
yeah,
All the grain.
pretty much. But it's a couple thousand acres and he's responsible for a bunch of it, so it's pretty cool. But on one of his spots, got some pigs that got out, and well, like every other Friday night, we had our courage, and we decided we wanted to go see how many of them we can catch by hand before we started shooting them. Well, we were hanging, we had a few of us, and I was hanging off the side of the truck on his flatbed, and he'd drive up beside him in the field, and we'd just jump off and see if we could tackle the pigs.
How many pigs did you tackle?
We got like 4 or 5 before.
Well, how
we
big
just
are these
some-
pigs? Just so I can envision it in my head.
Well, we've got hogs and pigs. These were the potbelly pigs that we were trying to jump on, and we would just shoot the hogs because they've got cutters, and I don't want to have to go to the hospital and explain that one.
What are cutters?
Mr. Coach Joey Hammond,
The
why my
teeth,
arm is cut
right?
off.
What are
Yeah,
cutters?
it's
Little-
just big. It's like
little
teeth that
teeth.
come out. It's
Oh, like the
yeah, they're called cutters.
like the hog in Lion King.
Oh,
Pumbaa.
Yeah, it's Pumbaa.
That's a
that's a
warthog.
warthog.
Well, he has the teeth coming
I
out.
think those are.
I'm just saying
more
if
like
that's-
tusks.
Yeah, that.
These are more like little.
You're
sharper
more like Tusk. Go ahead.
But pretty much
teeth.
is
Trying to help. Let's hear more about this pig story.
Yes.
well.
Wait. So how big are these pigs?
They're probably about 150, 200 pounds.
So they're big pigs.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're finding little footballs and kicking them around. Like, they've been off the mama's teat for a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
they're bigger pigs, but the average is probably about 175.
And you're jumping off the moving truck and tackling these pigs?
Correct, because they get herded up and it's nighttime. We've got spotlights and we're just
Did you-
finding them in the field and jumping on them.
Did you ever jump off the truck and miss the pig?
Yeah. So I actually jumped off on a cow patty, which is pretty much just cow crap, and I
Yeah.
landed in it and slipped and rolled and missed the pig and just landed on my arm. That wasn't a fun time. Because then I was embarrassed that I missed the pig and stepped in cow crap all
How
at the
old
same
were you when
time.
you were doing this?
20.
Oh, so this is this
Yeah.
year. Oh. So this is just when you're at home over the summer? Is
Yeah,
what
this
you're
was
doing?
right before my hernia surgery, so I figured if I was going to mess something up, I'd just do it before the surgery. That way they could fix them both at the same time.
Yeah, that's not what I usually do over the summer. I usually just kind of hang out on the beach with my friends and enjoy the nice sound of some waves and
Well, this was enjoying time with my friends.
yeah, that's what we have totally different ways of hanging out with our friends, Charlie.
I don't think if
I
I
love that.
wanted to jump off a car and catch a pig, I could. Like,
No.
Well, if I was
no,
gonna
I'm
jump,
saying I don't think that it would be possible for me to be able to find myself in that situation.
There's plenty of pigs in Florida.
Yeah, but if I just start going into people's property and jumping on pigs,
and people in Florida don't like you going in their property.
yeah, especially when you're messing with their pigs.
Yeah, there was one time when I was fishing in this gated community with my friend Ben. Love you, Ben. We were fishing for some tarpon. There's a lot of tarpon in there. It was the fun size ones, like
Yeah.
the little 40 pounders. And this dude came, we were in this huge gated community, mansions. This dude comes running out of his house and telling
Ben?
us to leave. No, the owner of the house.
Oh, gotcha.
Yelling at us to leave his yard, and we're running, get in my car, and I'm trying to get out of this neighborhood in my car, and I back up and smash my windshield on this huge metal mailbox. That was not good. Having to explain that to my parents when I got home at 16 years old. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
They're never mad. They're always disappointed.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
That is the worst.
Why is there a raccoon in my car?
Well,
Why was there a
we never get raccoons. We always go catch possums and put them in our buddies' trucks and see how long it takes the possum to figure out how to either A, get out, or the buddy finds the possum first one. Because they're just like mean little kitties. Like you pick them up behind the head and they just... you just
I just completely like made that up. Like I was completely kidding.
What music do you enjoy, Charlie?
I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
Okay. I know you like some Cole Wetzel.
I do like, it's Co.
Co
Like
Wetzel.
David Allen Coe, but
Co
spelled wrong
Wetzel.
with a K.
Because when we were in your truck the other night, I added a bunch of your country songs to my playlist.
It's pretty good.
It was pretty good. I haven't ever heard that stuff before. My mind opened. You got Co Wetzel.
I like
You like? Well, you guys saw Eric Church last night.
That was
How
a
was
fun
that?
time.
It was pretty good.
Felt kind of bad because I left my buddy and went and sat in the front row with some random people that had never even met, but he'd hang out in the lawn. But I fully anticipated getting sent back to the lawn, but you just talk to enough people, I guess they'll let you hang out with them during the show.
Who else do you enjoy?
I really enjoy Rally Green. He's got Halo Waterfowl. I was a part of that for a few years.
And some more waterfowl.
Yeah.
That's
What about Young Dolph?
I do enjoy some young Dolph. All the rednecks around me really like Dolph, and I got to shout out one of my buddies, Sam Zajac. He put me on to young Dolph, so.
Sam Zachek's a good dude.
He is.
What's your dream job?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it goes back to I just want to make a lot of money doing something in the blue collar field than go hunt and fish the rest of my life.
And what are you doing now? I remember you were telling us the other day. With your construction stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of like the right-hand man for a construction company. Did everything he needed and would work on like telling people what to do, going to get materials, order materials.
So you're the guy that shows up in that white hard hat with the clipboard and your sunglasses on and just watches everyone work and then you leave? Is that what you do?
Essentially, yeah, but I didn't have to wear a hard hat or a polo or had the clipboard. I just.
Have you ever been the person on the other side of the hard hat doing the hard?
I did that
What
growing
kind of stuff
up.
did you do?
I grew up roofing. I grew up landscaping. Like every other person around the area, they think they're getting into a big job doing landscaping. Me and my buddy did it growing up, and that's how I was able to afford like my truck and my boat and everything. Did that roofing and landscaping. I also did code enforcement growing up. Well, subcontracting code enforcement.
Code enforcement.
So in the city, there's different codes and what you got to follow by. Like you got to keep your yard mowed a certain height. You got to clean up trash. If you don't do that,
so you're the person that everyone hated.
No. I wasn't the person giving them the deal. I was
Gotcha.
the person that when they didn't do it and they got fined, I had to come clean it up for them.
Oh.
Like board up homeless people's house. Well,
Huh.
the houses that homeless people were breaking into, board that up.
At the Kmart that you
Yeah, I did have to kick some people out of the Kmart. That was the story. They were not happy when the Salisbury Police Department showed up and told them to leave.
Well, they thought you were the policeman.
They did do that. The lady was telling me all the secrets of the town, thinking I was an undercover cop. Yeah.
And you're
I
not
did,
the
I did
undercover
not
cop.
want to know half the secrets.
Charlie, what's your favorite movie?
Ooh. The original Point Break.
I've never seen Point Break.
With Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves. I think it's pretty cool how they robbed banks as presidents and they went and surfed big waves.
I would really enjoy that movie.
And then with that or American Sniper
That's
or something
a
like
very
that.
good movie. I'm more of a Kung Fu Panda kind of guy.
I figured Halliday's that way too. Fictional characters.
Here and there.
But if we're talking about like real good family, I love some Good Will Hunting. Have you ever seen Good Will Hunting?
Don't-
How about them apples?
Ooh.
Holiday, what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie?
Yeah.
I really like This Is the End. I think that's a really good movie. Moneyball is really
Classic.
spectacular.
Surf's Up.
Best movie.
Surf's Up.
Surf's Up.
You know, I got really into, you know Zootopia?
I do.
Oh.
I watched that a lot. I like Harry Potter too.
I
Never seen one.
don't like. I haven't either. I don't like Harry Potter.
I love
I've tried to
Harry
get
Potter.
into it, and I've tried to get into Star Wars too. I could never get into Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't understand the Star Wars thing.
I don't either. Watching him. What is it called?
Zero Dark 30.
I liked Madagascar more. That's a
Yeah.
good movie. I liked when they sent Melman to Connecticut.
I think the government lit that island on fire.
What island? Pearl Harbor?
No, there was
that
a,
was
there
the
was a
Japanese.
big fire a few weeks ago in Hawaii.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
it
one
was
that
on the main island.
the one they're saying Oprah did.
I don't know.
Why would Oprah
did
start a
it,
fire?
Because Oprah has a lot of land in Hawaii.
So Oprah started the fire.
but- Yes.
That's what people are saying.
Would she need insurance money? I don't think she needs any more money.
No, because
The joke. Hey, did you see our lovely president? He was talking about how he about had the same thing happen to him when he didn't blow out his birthday candle, right?
oh yeah, that was brutal.
What happened?
The fire happened and he was like trying to make a joke out of it. He's like, yeah, the same thing almost happened when I didn't blow out my birthday candle.
It was something like
And
that.
everyone-
I don't know if it was actually a birthday
Yeah,
candle.
and everyone was like, dude, like so many people just died. Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, ha ha, like, no, yeah, apparently I guess Oprah did it because she has a bunch of, like, she just bought a bunch of that land and like to tear it all down.
She's kind of suspicious.
Well, it was something weird where like she gets paid back if it gets destroyed or like the land would have
It's like
cost
insurance
too
money.
much to flatten. This is what I think it is. I think she's building on that land. And
She's-
if
they want
if they like tried to clear it, it would have been very expensive.
So she just set it on fire.
Yes.
Precisely. Well, maybe.
Oprah.
We need answers. Could have put a dozer and an excavator out there.
And why would we do that when Oprah has matches? I was just gonna say, do you have anything
school
you'd like to
splitter.
put on the internet about how High Point University has mishandled the theft of your moped?
I just think it's pretty funny how we leave to go play baseball for the school, and I go outside and I leave my moped, a couple 100-pound vehicle, in the driveway where it's been all year. And it just so happens that the campus enhancement people were taking stuff home and selling things on Marketplace that they would find that people would throw away. And I come back from playing at Winthrop and my moped's gone. And their response to me was, I didn't lock it up properly. Like, what am I supposed to do, bring it inside? Because if I did, they'd probably fine me like they do for everything else around here. They just said it was my fault.
It is your fault, Charlie.
You're right. My truck broke down on the first date one time. That was not a fun time trying to explain to him because I was 16, didn't have my after nines, and I had to call him and tell him I was broke down at 12:30 at night, and he's got to
You
get
can't
up for work.
drive after 9?
Not
You're
normal.
16 here?
You can, but you got to have a 6-month period where you can't drive after 9. Yeah, I called him at like 12:30, and hey, Dad, my truck's broke down, and I'll let you fill in the rest of the blanks on what he told me. Mind-boggling.
Was there a date after that?
Surprisingly.
Oh.
But then she cheated on me with my best friend, and now we're no longer best friends, and I'm not with her anymore, but good times.
Can I ask you a question about an animal I'm confused about?
Is it a penguin?
No.
I
What's
don't
the
think
rabbit
it's-
with the horns in its head?
That's a jackalope.
That thing exists?
What?
You can only find those in Texas.
That thing is real?
Yeah.
A
I can go there and
jackalope?
find a rabbit with horns.
It's called a jackalope. Y'all can look it up.
How do you, I don't understand how that happened genetically, how there's all kinds of regular rabbits and then one just has horns.
Yeah. Like, I'll take you snipe hunting first, and then we'll go look for the jackalope in Texas.
Are you serious right now? You couldn't take me to go shoot a jackalope? Can we put a photo of a jackalope
I can.
like right about now in the podcast so
could
everyone
do
gets
that.
it? Okay, cool.
It'll be right there.
That's a jackalope.
That.
What?
We're gonna end it right there. I appreciate you for watching. If you want to follow along or have any questions that you would like for future athletes that I have on this podcast, follow my Instagram, my TikTok, it's D1Dirt Podcast. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, whatever it is, I don't know. Peace out, Girl Scout. Alright, let's go. Come on, everyone.
Come on. Sick crotch shot of me to end it.